Hey, welcome to a new section. In this section, you're going to learn how to create programs which process existing files. In the previous section, we worked on programs which created new files. So let's begin. I'll invite you to first create a new empty folder. So currently I am in ChatGPT course directory where we placed our files which we worked in the previous section. Now somewhere here in the ChatGPT course directory, I'll right click and go to new directory and I'll just create a new directory, section 2, without spaces. Section 2, press OK. And then I'll double click section 2. So here is where we will work on the next programs. So in the section 2 folder. And then let's suppose that somewhere in a folder we have these 3 text files. So I have attached these 3 text files in the lecture resources, so please download them. And once you download them, you want to copy all 3. And so in your file system, you want to go to that path. So in my case, it's C users AS ChatGPT, so AS ChatGPT course and then section 2. So I want to paste these here, right? And so now these files should be here as well. So perhaps you need to go back one folder and then double click on section 2. So you want to have these 3 files in here. So these are text files. Why am I giving these to you? Well, if you click any of these, we have some text here, and this text contains several sentences, but there is a problem. So each sentence starts with a lowercase letter, so it's not a capital letter how it's supposed to be. So we want to create a program which fixes that issue. So the program we will create will capitalize the first letter of each sentence. So we have multiple sentences here. For example, that's the second sentence. It also starts with a lowercase letter, and there is another sentence as well. There we go, all belong to the cuneiform, etc. And then we have the other text files, Hippo, which has the exact same problem. So there is like a systematic error here. All the sentences start with a lowercase. So is the case for reno.txt. So you get the idea. What we want to do now is we want to go to ChatGPT, create a new chat, and we want to ask ChatGPT to create a Python program. And that Python program should be able to capitalize the first letter of each sentence of each file. So here we have only 3 files, right? But that's just an example, so the script, the program will work with any number of files. But 3 is just for the sake of simplicity of teaching you how this is done. So let's go to ChatGPT and show you how to create queries, which create programs that modify existing files. So with the previous programs which generated new files, we started the query something like I want to create 100 text files, right? But when you modify existing files, you first want to describe what you have currently, right? You want to say I have multiple text files. And even better, it would be to specify the name of the directory where these files are. So for that, I would suggest you, it's even better to go to your file system again. So I am inside section 2 here, right? ChatGPT course section 2, and I want to create a new folder here. So new folder. I want to say files, right? Or data, whatever you like to call this. So I'll just say files, and then I'll drag these, I'll select these and place them inside the files folder. So now I have these inside files. And this is section 2, right? So now I can be more specific here. I want to say I have multiple files in a folder named files. So we are explaining to this programmer the input we have and where that input is located. So we have multiple text files. So what and where. What and where. Named files, right? And then you want to explain what each of these text files contain, right? Each text file contains text, and then you start explaining the problem. So, but the sentences start with a lowercase letter. So that is the problem statement. And then you describe what you want to do. So the input up to here, what you have, the problem statement, and then I want to convert the first letter of each sentence of each file, right, to uppercase. So lowercase, small letter, uppercase, capital letters. That's it, and then you know it's write me a Python script for that. That's it. Press enter and wait for the response of ChatGPT. As usual, you will get this description, then the code, so wait for the code to finish. After this, you'll get the description. So copy the code, go to Thony, and this is telling me that badger.txt was moved, so that happened when I placed the files inside this files folder. So you want to press yes here, or no, anyway. Yes, yes. Or you can also close them manually here if you pressed yes. So the idea is that now you should be inside the section2 folder, right? And make sure that inside the section2 folder you have this files folder as well, which has these 3 files, right? Now don't go inside files. So you want to be in section2 folder, and in section2 you want to right click here and you want to go to new file. And let's say lecture1.py and paste the code of ChatGPT in here. So normally you should see this line here, directory is equal to files. So because we told ChatGPT that our folder is named files, so files, then ChatGPT has created a program which now will process the files inside the files folder, so the folder named files, right? So if I press save now, so the file will be displayed in here. So that's the file lecture1.py, and that's the files directory. So that's the configuration we should see. Now let's run lecture1.py. So run, and we get these 3 arrows, and let's go inside files to check if the sentences are fixed. So there we go, Badger is now with a capital B, and let's check the second sentence. Again, Badgers. There was a third sentence as well, all, belong, etc. So A is also capital, and hippo, yeah, we have a capital T here. Same goes for the second sentence. Let's check reno.txt, there we go. Capital R, capital A. So as you can see, everything has worked perfectly. So that's how you can create programs with ChatGPT to process multiple text files, existing text files. So again, the formula is to first explain what input you have. So that was the input up to here, right? That's the problem statement, but the sentences start with a lowercase letter. So that's your problem. And then you want to specify what you want to achieve. And then lastly, you want to specify that you want a Python script. And that's the formula. So thanks a lot for following this. In the next videos, we'll process other types of files such as Excel and CSV. So I'll see you in the next videos. Thanks.